guys, it's me, Orange Vortex, and I'm back with another review. I recently saw Iron Lung this weekend, and let me tell you, it sure is something. Mainly I don't do videos like this, but since I enjoyed the movie a lot, I figured I might as well make a review. Gotta use this YouTube channel for something. I'm pretty sure most people know it, but if you don't, Iron Lung is based off of a horror game where you are put in a submarine called the Iron Lung. And your job is to basically explore this blood ocean that they found in hopes to find resources or the answer to the quiet rapture. You've probably seen people like Markiplier play it. The game does an amazing job of creating this atmosphere full of dread and misery and hopelessness. And its ending is pretty nice too. Not nice as in like a happy ending, but honestly I like games where they're left unresolved or left with more questions than answers. The big question is, does the movie adapt the game really? Yes it does. I've seen many criticisms of this film, ranging from critics who know what they're talking about, and critics who apparently don't know what a slow burn movie is supposed to be about. Most of the reviews I've seen from critics are basically just complaining about how slow burn the movie is or how boring it is, when in reality that's actually the point of the movie. If you're not familiar with the game is supposed to be about this convict being in a submarine with little to nothing to do. So of course there's not going to be much to do. You're in a metal casket. But I think what's even more terrifying is that this movie shows that people have slowly become more brain rotted and their brains have deteriorated and apparently are mad that this movie isn't 25 seconds long and instead 2 hours. But I'm gonna save most of my ranting for the end of the video. For now, we're gonna focus on why this movie works, why this movie is amazing, and why you should go see it. And also how the movie and game managed to scare the living crap out of me twice. I think the best way to start this off is that the game creator, David Samaski himself, or however you say his last name, was involved in the production of the movie. Most of the adaptations I've seen, they usually don't involve the creator of the original source material. Which in my opinion, 9 times out of 10, that makes the adaptation just awful. It's almost like building a house. If the house doesn't have any foundation or any structure, then it's just gonna fall and topple over. So the fact that this independent movie got so much attention and so much praise is honestly really amazing. The movie itself does a great job at replicating that fear and hopelessness from the game itself. You're stuck in an iron casket, you're tasked to explore this ocean of human blood, and it just leads to disaster after disaster after disaster. I am about to go into spoiler territory for the game and the movie, so if you have yet to see either of them, I highly recommend seeing one of them first before you continue with this video. The movie follows all of the points the game does. You're put in a submarine, you're tasked to explore this blood ocean, and you do it hoping to earn your freedom. As the game progresses, you have this feeling of dread as you explore this anomaly of human blood until you reach the ending where you are eaten by a fish. You don't get to make it to the surface, no one knows what's down in the ocean, and no questions are answered. Honestly, I feel like the movie did a much better job at explaining what the Quiet Rapture was, or is. A terrifying event where every known living star and planet slowly dies, with no reason or why. No one knows what's happening, no one knows who's behind it. It lets you stew in the questions that your brain is thinking of. Another neat detail in the movie is the camera itself. It's basically a big X-ray. When Simon activates the camera when he's first brought up, it shows the skeletons of the people on board. And that's when he realizes that everything in the ocean is possibly alive. Well, not possibly, because they are alive. I will say though, I think the game did a better job at it. The game makes you think that you're gonna get out of this alive, it's gonna be easy, and everything's gonna be all happy and jolly. But that's not the case. That dread starts to settle in the more and more you explore. Which comes to my favorite part of the game. In one of the photos you take, there is a fish in the background, and when you go to take the picture again, it's gone. It leaves you feeling with that dread, and hopelessness and that, oh crap, I'm probably going to die feeling. Not to say that the movie didn't pull it off, because it does a good job at what it's showing. In the first few minutes, the movie slowly grabs your attention. It slowly drags you into the movie. It doesn't feed you its hand quite yet, unlike those TikTok reels you see. Iron Lung gives its characters motives as to why they do this, why they're trying to survive, what they feel, what they think. The main character is a great example of this. It shows Simon wants to live, and it does a great job at building up to the finale of the movie. It shows him sacrificing himself in hopes that humanity lives to see another day, lives to see another year. It also gives Simon depth and lore as to why he's like this. I will say, I think the fish is my favorite part of the movie in general. It sees Simon, it knows Simon's there, it wants Simon to join it, or the blood ocean, I can't remember. Another cool feature is the blood seeping into the submarine, and how it turns the submarine into part of the ocean. Look, I know I'm sounding like the biggest glazer for this movie, but it's a movie that deserves its spotlight. It deserves to be talked about. It deserves to be praised. We live in a timeline where critics can't tell the difference between a TikTok and a full-length movie, and create dumb stuff just to feel better about themselves. So-called critics pulling stuff out of their arse just to make themselves feel better and superior? Where have I heard that before? This is a movie I highly encourage people to go and watch. It's clear that this movie was made by people who were passionate, who were hopeful, and who had a lot of fun making it. Even if you're not a fan of cosmic horror or slow burn horror movies, I urge you to give this movie a chance. Even if you don't enjoy Markiplier, this movie shows what Hollywood is missing. This movie shows you don't need a big budget, you don't need A-class celebrities or whatever. This movie shows that Hollywood has gotten dry with original ideas. So to wrap it all up, yes, Iron Lung is a great adaptation, and it does it right. Whether you're a fan of Markiplier or not, whether if you're a fan of the game or not, this is a big step for indie projects. And I really hope more movies like Iron Lung come out, especially when it comes to horror movies. I feel like some horror movies are judged unfairly. That, or randos on the internet just like to say whatever comes to their mind and pretend that they're smart, especially when they have no knowledge of movies. If you managed to survive my god-awful review, then congrats! Here's a cookie. If you want to see more of my content, I guess, then subscribe. I'm not really a big YouTuber, but I plan to make more of these. So until then, I'll probably see you next time.